Okay, this is bed number 66. 3 years ago, this was, I think, lemongrass. Lemongrass will not survive a winter. At least I didn't buy any that would. And for me, it's an annual. Wow, these are stuck. I may need your assistance. I can't even get my shovel in. Could you come here? Thank you. Wow, this is really, really stuck. Could you just give me a quick broadfork here?
Oh, I did that one already.
This one?
Yeah.
It must have reset itself because it's really stuck. I can't even get my shovel in. At least not there. Especially there. I don't know. Maybe it's just there. That's where I started.
It's not that deep though.
Well, it's deeper than the other beds by one. These smaller beds are all one landscape timber deeper. Oh, they're still getting to the ground quite a bit. It was 2019, 2020.
Yeah, you can tell. I think it was just the edge.
Just this edge here.
Right on here. In the middle, this isn't what film in. All right. That's your kind of boost.
Yeah. Hey, broadfork does a good job, though. I was just surprised that it wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah, that's good. Now. I think it's just like you're on the end. You can't really deep.
Well, grass tends to be worse, so. Oh, that really lifted it up. I just gotta get it broken apart.
There you go.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. That was fun.
I appreciate it. Oh, jeez, that's a big piece. Let's just move that. I thought it's gonna need some soil when I'm done. Oh, hello, worms. Everybody okay? There you go. Move over so you're not. Ah, that was a big piece. This one's gonna take a while. Oh, hello, little spider. Can I just launch you over there? Thank you. Wow, this is thick. I was gonna say I had lemongrass in here, which is not a perennial for me. It is an annual. Let's go over here and see if we can do some more damage. Now, I shouldn't be doing weeding like this. This is an insane amount of weeding. This is what happens when things get neglected. This is also what you'll run into if you end up in a garden where it wasn't tended to. Maybe you bought an old house, inherited it. You're going to go in and you're going to see first, did they put plant markers in? Was there something in there marking what some plants were? See if you can identify them. See if you can say, oh, I see that there's rhubarb here. This is what rhubarb looks like. Look, there's some rhubarb here. And that way you can save some of the heritage plants that maybe previous owners have grown that are beneficial. Now, are all things beneficial? No. One thing that comes to mind is there's a certain type of pear tree that doesn't produce a pear, but it smells, and they're trying to count it as an invasive species and slowly get rid of it. So sometimes you will run across things that you don't want or that you don't believe you should have. Another thing my yard fights with is poison ivy, but most of it is in the woods and along the perimeters of my yard. It's not in my garden proper. I think I said before, I'm one of the lucky people who is not bothered by poison ivy, although I do thoroughly wash my hands. Sometimes it's hard because I forgot to wear gloves and my fingernails are blackened, but everybody's garden is going to be just a little bit different. Hi, spider. Ooh, daddy long legs. I guess I missed over here. Let's try this again. I thought this was just loose stuff. It is not. Right now I don't have a plan for anything to go into this bed, but I have so many seeds started, I just can't think of what it would be off the top of my head. I like to use these beds for perennials first, spreading perennials first, and then second spreading annuals or herbs. I've seen a lot of people that make beautiful herb gardens and one of the herbs goes crazy and takes over. And then they end up not getting the herbs that they want, and they end up with all of one kind of herb. Or my oregano's that way. And even to a small extent, my catnip. I don't want it to take over all the beds, so I made these small. I was fortunate enough that I was able to sell my vehicle, my very beloved vehicle. Buy the wood to make raised beds. I wasn't using my vehicle anymore because I had stopped working to stay home with my young children. And when I had to replace the battery because I hadn't driven the car, I decided it was time to sell it. And I didn't have to pay for car insurance for it anymore. Upkeep. But I miss it. A yellow Jeep. Jeep Wrangler. I don't know if I'll ever get one someday, but some people play punch bug. We play Jeep. My kids have Jeep little electric cars. But they ride around everywhere. I take them into the woods. I think some of this root ball. No, that's not what I think it is. It does not smell lemony. I didn't think it would overwinter at all. Besides that was 3 years ago, so. This bed is on the southeast, which I consider the back of my garden. It was hidden behind tomatoes and then watermelons. The tomatoes got a lot of attention, but the melons did not. And these beds were behind them, just kind of ignored. I have an asparagus bed, which needs to be weeded. Which, I don't know about you, but if anybody out there is growing asparagus, my asparagus bed seems to need to be weeded a lot. I think I'm going to put some mulch down and see what happens. I haven't in prior years because I just kind of left it. I wanted to make sure the roots could grow up wherever they wanted to. I have 3 or 4 varieties of 3 or 4 varieties of asparagus growing. That's the bed right there behind me. Well, like I said, this corner just got ignored. And unlike the northeast ones, they get some shade, kind of slows the weeds down a bit. These are my full sun beds, which is why my tomatoes are on this side. I do have some north beds that get full sun that are not underneath giant maples. Even though I knew what beds were full sun and full shade, I still had to take your time and look. Pay attention to where the sun is, because where the sun is in the summertime for me is not in the same place it is in for the winter. So in the wintertime, I have some giant pine trees that shade all the way to the north to my little shed. But in the summertime, that shed never sees any shade. I have a dream that I'm going to expand my garden a little after this. First, I got to get this garden going. But to expand my garden, I got to wait a little bit. It's all about how many resources do you have. And right now, I don't have the resources to expand my garden because it would involve going back behind the woods a little bit, taking out some serious foliage, which I've had thinned. I actually had goats here a year ago, 2 years ago. Let's Goat Buffalo, shout out to them. To Jennifer, I think her name was Jennifer. She was awesome. She came out for a week and really, they thinned my woods. It was so dense back there. Okay, this one is really stuck. Did I bring the shovel out? No, why would I bring the shovel out? Oh, we do. Here it is. Sometimes you just need the right tool. Seems like weed starts to move. I know I popped it. Shout out to Leverage. There we go. 99% of this is clean. Now there's some big chunks in here. I'm gonna break these up and come back through and I'll put some compost on top of here, just so that the little critters like the worms have something fresh and new to eat. Okay, that's it. That bed is ready for when I'm ready to plant. Like I said, a little compost on the top, and she's golden. Thank you for watching.